Hi, my name is Michael López-Alegría. I was a NASA astronaut for 20 years. I want to talk about some of the obvious differences and similarities between spaceflight and living on Earth. One of the things that we have to do in both places is eat. When I left NASA in 2012, I was pretty convinced that my flying in space career was over. It's a bit like being a professional athlete. I mean, at some point you retire and you go on and do something else. And it was just serendipity that it turns out I'm working with a company, Axiom Space, and in collaboration with NASA, who is obviously hosting us at the International Space Station, as well as Spacex, who is sort of our rental car that we're going to take to and from the ISS. So I'll be commanding that mission along with 3 private astronauts. It'll be really interesting to see how people who can pretty much eat whatever they want, how they react to the food that NASA provides. We've come a long way since the Gemini and Mercury and Apollo days when literally they were eating out of toothpaste tubes. The majority of our food looks and feels and tastes like food. It comes in a couple of different forms. One is dehydrated, so it's like this shriveled up packet and you inject some water in it, mush it around for a while, and about 5 minutes later it sort of turns into food. One is what we call thermostabilized, so it's in a kind of a metal pouch and it just needs to be heated. It's already got its own juices and liquid in there. The process that we go through is we go through the NASA food lab and we taste everything that they have to offer. They pack a lunchbox for you that's got 10 days worth of food in it. Officially on Monday or day number 1, you're supposed to have this for breakfast, this for lunch, this for dinner, and this for a snack. Once the box is open, it's kind of a free-for-all. We go around the Earth every 90 minutes, and that means that every 45 minutes we have a sunrise or a sunset, so we can't very well live by that clock. So we use Greenwich Mean Time or Universal Time. So we wake up at 6 a.m., we have an hour or so for breakfast. They had a lot of different kinds of scrambled eggs. Breakfast cereal, which was rehydrated, turned out to be a little bit mushy. Of course, they had oatmeal, they had yogurt. I'm pretty bad. I don't do what a lot of dietitians tell you. I generally don't have breakfast. I have a cappuccino in the morning, and my first meal is lunch. And then you have, sort of a work day until lunch. My favorite things were sort of the heavier entrees. So we had chicken fajitas, we had beef brisket, sort of a ravioli dish, a lasagna dish. My mother's Italian, and so I'm kind of picky about my pasta, and you would think that something that's thermostabilized, a pasta is going to be way past al dente, but it was actually pretty good. And then we'll have an hour or so of what we call pre-sleep, and that includes dinner. Again, catching up on email, talking to friends and family, that kind of thing. One of my favorite things to cook is paella, and I was mentioning this to my crew on the second shuttle mission, so this is back in 2000. So I made a paella at home, and I brought it to the food lab, and they processed it and dehydrated it, and this is the result. This turned out to be a lot better on Earth than in space, but I found eating in space to be more mechanical, almost an obligation for nutrition and to, stay healthy. Of course, that's very important. But food's nutritious, it's balanced, and it's not bad. I wouldn't want to live the rest of my life that way, but for a short mission like the one coming up, it'll be just fine.